Right, welcome back to the channel. I decided to do a follow-up video to my review of the Carpuride 702 Pro, since a few of you who bought the unit told me you were struggling to find the right parts to mount it properly. Since we're on the topic, this will also help anyone who just wants to mount a GPS on a Husqvarna Norden or a KTM Adventure bike. I will briefly run through the options you have, from simply running your phone to a CarPlay unit like the Carpuride, a standalone unit like Aoocci, a Garmin Zumo, or even a more serious Dakar-style roadbook setup. So, to make sure you do not have to wait extra weeks once your GPS arrives, I will leave links to every bracket, bolt, and cable in the description so you can copy my setup or adapt it to your own bike without any guesswork. So, let's dive in. Another reason I think this video will be useful is because I was in your shoes a few years ago. At first I wanted to use a QuadLock setup with a secondary phone, thinking it would be a budget-friendly solution, but it turned out to not be the case. I asked around in various Facebook groups, hoping that someone would give me a complete parts list, and even though a lot of owners were really helpful and shared different lists and photos, once my order arrived, I was excited to install everything. I still ended up missing an important piece and had to wait another 2 weeks for that bit to arrive. So I really want to help anyone in that situation avoid the same hassle. That said, the simplest option, assuming you have a smartphone, is indeed the QuadLock setup. There are other phone mounting options out there, but this is the one I can personally vouch for, having used it for a couple of years. Mind you, they are not sponsoring me and I do not get any commission. I was just genuinely happy with what they offered when I needed it, so I have linked their stuff in the description as well. It was a really user-friendly experience, and since I was always using a backup phone instead of my main one, I was not too worried about the camera or other components getting damaged. That said, I did end up getting a vibration dampener along with a fairly pricey wireless charger, which made things extra elegant and convenient. For this setup, you need quite a few parts, and once you add everything up, it ends up costing the same or even more than a CarPlay unit from Carpuride. Prices will vary based on your region, but starting from the phone case itself, which is essential for this setup, not to mention that you have to replace it if you get a new phone, you are already looking at around 80 euros. With all the parts I used on my bike, you are looking at roughly 240 euros, and that is not including the price of the phone. So just keep that in mind if this is what you have been considering. As I said, I have had this setup for around 2 years, and none of the components have given me any issues. However, because I have been using my old iPhone 11 Pro, the screen was quite small and in some cases not bright enough. And let's just admit it, most smartphones were not designed to be used as navigation units on adventure bikes in direct sunlight or spending hours in the rain or occasionally even in the snow. So that brings me to the second option, the setup I upgraded to, which is the Carpuride 702 Pro, essentially a CarPlay unit that mirrors my phone. It is the perfect setup for my current needs. I'm already familiar with my phone's ecosystem and the navigation apps I have been using, so I do not have to learn or operate an extra separate device. It connects to my phone as soon as I start the bike, and I personally set everything up on my phone before I leave. The main advantages of this setup are the size of the screen, the brightness, the built-in tire pressure monitoring system, the phone connectivity, and of course the good price. As I mentioned in my review of the 702 Pro, the unit costs around 270 euros, but if you apply the discount code Nimrod, you get 30% off, which brings it down to around 190 euro for the unit itself. It already comes with a few mounting options, although I do recommend a couple of extra parts, at least for Norden owners, which I will mention shortly when we go through the install process. Either way, it still ends up being cheaper than a full QuadLock setup. Also, you are not limited to the 702 Pro. There is the 702 Plus, which includes front and rear dash cams. There are also the 502 and the 602, which are the 5-inch and 6-inch variants. Personally, I am happy with the size of the 7-inch screen so far. It might be a bit too big for some riders, but make sure to check out my review of the unit, and do not forget to subscribe because I will also be reviewing the 602 Pro, which has received some upgrades compared to the 702. I suppose the only big downside I can highlight here is the fact that your phone is not constantly in the charger, as it is with the QuadLock setup, so you will have to charge it eventually. That said, I have never noticed any noticeable battery drain from my phone being connected to the Carpuride units. There are other similar budget-friendly CarPlay or standalone units from brands such as Aoocci or Chigee. I have heard good things about them, but so far I've only been able to test Carpuride units, so those are the ones that I can confidently recommend. However, if you are looking for a really budget-friendly or entry-level option, by getting something like the Aoocci C3 Pro on some holiday offer and also apply the discount code RN22, you will get it for just under 79 euros, less than the cost of a QuadLock phone case. I honestly believe this type of setup suits most adventure riders. It is cost effective, it does exactly what you expect it to do, and let's face it, if you're working as an accountant in suburban Chicago, the odds of you traveling to Mongolia anytime soon are pretty slim. Speaking of riding to Mongolia, as we move up the list of options, we are entering the pricier categories. I don't want to get too lost in details here because I plan to review these products individually in the future, but if any of these are on your wish list, just make sure you research them in detail. First up is the Garmin Zumo XT2, a very reputable unit that runs on Garmin's own proprietary systems. It can be paired with accessories such as radios, radars, trackers, remotes, and so on. Evidently, the more accessories you add, the higher the overall price, but you are getting a proven product that will not leave you stranded in the middle of Mongolia or Namibia. The user interface does look a bit like it's from around 2009 compared to some of the more budget-friendly options, but in this case the focus is not on looks, it is on purpose and reliability. So for riders who really want to take the path less beaten and have a healthier budget, the Garmin Zumo XT2 is one of the best options out there. Then if you are looking for more rugged nav units, specifically designed for heavy off-road use, there are options such as Thork Racing's DMD units, or a brand new product I will be testing later this year, the Carpe Iter Caretta, which is a big upgrade from their already proven C-iPad V4C. These things can really take a beating. I would even go as far as to say they are practically military-grade products for adventure riders. Aside from your usual navigation apps, they both run roadbook apps, the kinds used at events such as Baja or Africa Eco Race. They can even take their own SIM card, so you can basically use them as a phone or even watch Netflix on them in the middle of the desert. These products are a bit on the steeper side and can range from around 500 euros to 1000 euros or maybe even more, depending on the model and accessories. Once I manage to get my hands on them, I will be able to provide a bit more detailed info. But the good news in this case is that regardless of what GPS unit you choose, the mounting process is pretty much the same. As I've said, for my needs, the Carpuride 702 Pro does an amazing job right now, and it is the one that I will hold on to for a good while, so that is the unit I filmed for the install. The process is straightforward, and it is basically the same for all KTMs that share the same GPS mounting area used on the Husqvarna Norden. I should mention that the bike does come with a plastic GPS arm from the factory, but it isn't exactly good for anything, so at this point it is just collecting dust in my garage. Instead, let's focus on the parts you'll actually need. So for starters, you will need to remove the plate, labeled "Remove for GPS," and locate the accessory wires behind it. I have mentioned in my Husqvarna Norden 901 review that you have switched power straight into the tower. This makes life insanely convenient from an installation point of view because you do not have to run cables all the way back to the battery. The Carpuride unit does come with plenty of cable length in case your bike does not have accessory wires up front, but on the Norden you can keep things nice and tidy. To make the connection safer and simpler, I crimped on a pair of U-type electrical connectors which you can plug straight into the accessory wire terminals. In terms of polarity, you can usually tell from the wire colors, but just to be clear, red is the live wire and black is ground. So obviously red goes to red and black goes to black. Once that is done, plug the GPS unit into the waterproof quick release connector and give it a quick test to make sure everything works and the unit boots up. After I confirmed it on my side, I wrapped the connections with electrical tape as an extra safety measure. Then you can tug the fuse and excess wiring neatly into the tower. Make sure you leave only the water-resistant connector accessible, since that is what you will use to connect the unit, and you can unplug it anytime you want to remove the screen. Next, you will need a base that bolts into the frame of the bike. Mine is from Nice CNC, which I picked up on AliExpress. Bolted to that base, I'm using a QuadLock 4-hole base, and on top of that, a pivot arm ball. In my case, the ball came together with the pivot arm, but I've linked it separately into the description in case you want to copy this exact setup. Now, using a dab of medium strength Loctite 243 on the OEM Thork screws, bolt the base onto the tower on both sides. It is a bit tricky to get in there behind the windshield depending on the tools you have, but it is absolutely doable. Once the base is in place, it is up to you what length of ram arm you want to use. In the video, I am using the arm that comes included with the Carpuride unit, but with the QuadLock setup, I was using the much shorter 2-inch arm, which was more than enough to hold my iPhone 11 vertically in a clean and compact way. If you are going with the QuadLock setup, the extra parts I recommend are the 2-inch arm, followed by the vibration dampener, and on top of that, the hardwired wireless charger. In that case, the wireless charger is what you would directly connect to the accessory wires in the tower. Alternatively, for a sturdier setup, you can use a bar mount, also from AliExpress. Carpuride, for example, includes an adapter for bar mounts. Some owners even get creative and resort to welding mounts to the frame or 3D printing parts, which is a bit of an overkill, but if someone comes up with a practical prototype for a sturdy mount, others may be able to adapt it. This does remind me, so heads up and consider this a PSA. Whichever setup you end up going for, make sure to tighten the bolts and the ram mounts properly. I have heard of at least one case where a rider went for a jump and on landing, the navigation unit smacked into and cracked the OEM dashboard screen. That said, I'm happy to reassure you that I've taken my setup off-road multiple times, including small jumps, and so far nothing has moved or come loose. If you want to be extra careful, add a dab of Loctite to your screws, and that should keep everything exactly where it is supposed to be. So yeah, this is the setup I went for, and I genuinely think this is the most cost-effective option. At the end of the day though, it really depends on what you are looking for. Make sure you do your research properly before you buy, and of course, if you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. I will do my best to answer as soon as I can. And last but not least, make sure you subscribe to the channel for more adventure content, motorcycle reviews and gear reviews such as this one. And don't forget to like or even share the video with anyone who might find it useful. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.